Consider the following statement. I am human. Seems pretty important, right? You're afforded certain privileges, you have certain responsibilities, all because you're human. The law protects you from murder, but doesn't protect houseflies from murder. And yet, what is it specifically that makes that statement true? What is it about me that is that human? Is it I got some part on me that's human? Where would that be? Let's consider. Hello philosophers, I'm Chico. Welcome to the Philosopher Show, where we consider the greatest questions of human history. To motivate this inquiry, I'm going to give you guys an ethical dilemma. Let's say that you're a zookeeper. In your zoo, you have a very special exhibit, a Midland gorilla, and it's actually the last of its kind. Let's call it Shmarambe. Now, Shmarambe is the last of its species, but Shmarambe is pregnant with boy-girl twins. And for the sake of this argument, let's just say that these gorillas can interbreed with no problem. Your zoo is going to keep on the line of the Midland gorilla. Now, unfortunately, for no fault of your own, no fault of the kid's own, the kid falls into the exhibit. The Midland gorilla has a very specific attack cry. Oh! If you don't shoot Shmarambe down, you are going to allow Shmarambe to kill a small child. If you do shoot Shmarambe, you are going to be ending the entire species of Shmarambe. The Midland gorilla will be cut down by you. What would you do? Now, the dilemma is interesting in its own right, but what's really interesting to me in this case is that the whole thing revolves around the idea that the child and the gorilla belong to specific kinds. I say it is true that Shmarambe is a Midland gorilla. It is true that this child, we'll call him Kevin. Kevin is a human. And that seems to make all the difference in the world here. If Shmarambe isn't actually a Midland gorilla, then who cares if Shmarambe dies or another gorilla dies? It's all the same. It seems like the crux of this issue, Shmarambe being that specific kind of gorilla. And when we look at Kevin, it seems like that statement's got to be true. Kevin is human in order for us to have that special tug and say, oh no, but it's a human. Whatever your answer is, it seems like it depends on these two things being part of a specific kind. But here's what's weird. What is it that makes those statements true? All right, let me give you another statement. Chico is a human. It's a true statement, but I can't say the reverse and have it be true. In fact, the reverse doesn't even make sense. Human is a Chico. That's incoherent. How is it that we can have it go one way, but the other way doesn't work? Here's what seems to be going on. It seems like Chico is a name, points out a particular specific thing, right? It points out this thing right here. Human seems to also be referring to this thing right here, but not exactly. Chico is not identical to human. It's not like I am what it is to be human. It seems like what makes statements true is that that's the way the world is. And Chico is referring to this specific thing, but we said human isn't referring exactly to this specific thing. What is it referring to? This is a phenomenon that in philosophy we call predication. And the question here is, what is the word human doing here? Chico is referring to a specific thing, but what is human referring to? It's weird because you see one particular thing and that's all you see here, and yet we have this word human that seems to be talking about something, right? It seems like a true statement. What is it that makes that thing true? How can we predicate human of Chico? Now, this is only one kind of predication we have, and this kind of predication we'll call a kind. I am predicating a kind of myself. I'm saying Chico is a kind of a thing, human. There's also other kinds of predication like properties. So, for example, I'm a brown man, right? So if I say Chico is brown, again, I am not what it is to be brown. I am using this word brown that can apply to many different things. That doesn't mean specifically this skin right here. It means the kind of color. How is it that I can say that Chico is brown when I am not what it means to be brown? What makes that statement true? And finally, the last kind of predication is a relational predication, when I could say that I am related to something. So I could say Chico is in front of the bookcase. So that's the way I'm related to the bookcase, but I could be in front of many different things. I could be in front of anything. It could be something else that's in front of something. This playlist right here is probably the hardest one I have to motivate. I taught this for years. It seems like students struggle to see what we're talking about in the first place, and second of all, why they should care. But remember though, it seems like a lot is riding on kinds. A lot is riding on you being a specific kind of a thing. What is it that makes you that kind of a thing? That seems to be an important question. This is also just one phenomenon out of three that we're going to talk about that's eventually going to motivate our question about universals. Phenomenon 1, predication. How is it that we can predicate kinds, properties, relations of the things that have them? We only see one specific particular thing standing here, and yet we can attribute true things to that one specific thing that are not specific, that are not this particular human, brown, in front of. How does that work? As we go along and see some of these other phenomena, hopefully it'll become a little bit more clear why this is a problem in the first place. Like I always say, the best philosophy happens in dialogue, so hit me up on the comments with your questions. If you have questions from your class, I'd love to help you out. Let me know. Also, please like, subscribe, and comment. And that's all I got for today. Adios.